Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. It's a new week. We're very happy to bring you a new show. This is Prince Ojong reporting from Washington, D.C., and I'm your host, and I thank you for the loyalty. You've been watching our show now for a while. Most of you are telling us that you're watching, but you're not commenting. We're encouraging you to comment because this show is a form of communication. Whenever you comment, we know what you're thinking. Let us talk. That's why we say this is Speak of Africa. Let us all speak of Africa. In fact, this week we have a whole lot of news for you. But before we start, as usual, we say thank you to all our subscribers. Without you, we'll not really have a show. Some of you have not subscribed. We're encouraging you to subscribe. When you subscribe, you receive a video. Each time we upload a new video, you get it right away. So don't miss out. Please subscribe. If you're watching the show for today, we're also encouraging you to subscribe. We want the number of subscribers to go up. So continue sharing the show. Share, and share. Because when you share, you help us reach a lot more people and our message is spread quickly across the globe. Then, we also thank those who are supporting us, the businesses that are supporting us. I'm very pro-business because I believe if we have to be free as Africans, we need to have resources. You cannot be free as a poor person. A poor person has never been free. Money rules the world. Some people may tell you money doesn't matter. It does. When you have money, you can solve a lot of problems. Money is not everything, but it can solve a lot of your problems. Money doesn't bring happiness, but money is a tool you can use to solve a lot of problems, which is why we encourage business on this show. In fact, we have completed work on our clinic in Towson, Maryland. We're going to launch the clinic before the end of the month. Work is going on. We're getting supplies and equipment every day. We're hiring more people every day. We even have our team of web designers. They've already finished the websites. They've also designed the ads we're going to be using for the show. You can even see samples of the ads we're going to show you. Then, of course, the big banner outside has been installed. So as people drive by from the street, they can see our banner, okay? And our competitors are really going to have it hard because we have new technology for this clinic. We're going to be doing things in a more modern way. Instead of you coming in, waiting for hours to receive care, we have digital tools. You can even register in your own house before you come to the clinic. As you walk in, we have all your information already. Then we have introduced what we call Patient 360 system, which is going to make it easy for patients to communicate with their doctor. Then doctors too can really get information from patients all over the world. So there's no need to be waiting for days to receive the patient record. So these are the new things we are bringing, and we're encouraging our people to know about this clinic. Spread the news. Lucille Urgent Care in Towson, Maryland. So we're going to be helping a lot of people. Without further ado, let's jump into the news segment because we have a lot of news. As usual, we're going to start with Ambazonia. A lot of news is breaking in Ambazonia. What is it? Well, we feel sorry for the people around Bova in Biya. There's been some floods, and you can take a look at what is happening.
Don't worry about them. You know if pass.
You know if pass, oh.
Yeah.
When I want to do that side, when no cross can this side, oh. When I know if cross safe. The water don't wild.
Hey, how we go back?
You go move all that stone there for you.
A lot of flooding, cars, stones are turning, so this is not good. The floods are not really good, so we have to look at this environmental hazard. It's not good. It's just as worse as pollution, which we're going to talk a lot about. There's a lot of pollution around. Then, in addition to this flood, we also have a video of what is happening in Ambazonia this week. The major videos really tell us the action on the ground. Militarization. The restoration fighters, the freedom fighters of Ambazonia have concluded that since La République doesn't want to negotiate with them, they've realized that the only thing that can make La République negotiate is firepower. So they have decided to invest in firepower, and they are fighting like crazy. This week, they were able to kill a commander of La République du Cameroon. And the commander was crying. They messed up his body. We even have the video to show you. They messed up his body. So when people from La République see this, they begin to understand that Ambazonia is hell for La République soldiers. Biya's pumpkins are battered like crazy by Ambazonia freedom fighters. You can really see the images.
Today is 20th of May, 2023. This is Ambazonian Defense Force on ground. Shishik in your day. Any shaking trees is target. The houses, one can make base for them and condemn my 37 Angola. Shishik no day, the boy and one can fire. Ambazonian Defense Force. BTF. Live. See the one can stay. Let them come. We lap them here for their body. We bomb them, na bomb them. But the others see. She no do. No city. And that. She no do. Yes. That's true. See how that's gonna plug this sheep ready. There we see Amazonian land this public plug this for road highway a cock highway she ready. See how I always condemn my 37. Ready.
People don't want to tell you the truth of what is happening. A lot of soldiers are on a suicide mission. Most of those soldiers from La République du Cameroon are on a suicide mission. So they should really ride their wheels before they go to Ambazonia, because just like the Persian Gulf, you may not return. So Ambazonia is a no-go zone. When you go, you may not come back. Tell your spouse, ride your wheel, and don't go foolishly. Those who are foolish are dying. Next, tell poor Biya to send his own kids to go and die in Ambazonia. Before you go, think about it. You may be a zombie soldier who has no brains. Go and die in Ambazonia, foolish things then. Okay, go and die over there. Go and die in Ambazonia. That's your problem.
When all clans on picking their work is like this. Pa Lucifer life. Pa Lucifer your place there. Pa Lucifer your place there. Now they army this. Monda still fine. Just right there. Pa Lucifer life. Pa Lucy life. Pa Lucy life. Life. Just right there. Now they gun that. Now they gun that. Now they gun that. Pa Lucifer. Pa Lucifer life! Pa Lucifer life! Life! Pa Lucifer life! Pa Lucifer life! Pa Lucifer life! But I commander Ahmed, just shake no day! 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 Then I even get drugs several last, see their drugs all here. Oh, see my shoe! I'm in my shoe, see! Ya mami bombo, oh, yeah! Ya mami pima! I'm here to tell you! Bombo for now.
This.
I feel my life. I feel my life. No be chance. Life. Nine days in that you see small ass. Just last small. Pa Lucifer, they are picking their work. FM Lucifer life. Just no day.
Pass to be a
cat there. Pass to be. Pa Lucifer, your life. They are placed there. You be need to. Pa me. We go. Leave it. We go. Leave it, me go. Mami bombo.
I did not for you.
You go so yeah. You go. There Biya say it do. It is on the camp. Biya place no day. You know. Like that. Move all thing for last. Move all thing. Move go. Bombo for them.
But you can see the action. The Ambazonia guys are not playing. Now they have upped their game and they are really targeting those big fish. The big fish from La République. The important soldiers. They don't just want the little guys anymore. They are targeting the big commanders. So that way they inflict the most pain in La République. That's just what is happening. You can see the images. It's not good, but the images are there. But who actually came up with this defense strategy? Before, when Sissoco Ayoktabe was the interim president of Ambazonia, the strategy was to use diplomacy to bring La République to the negotiating table. But Ayabacho Lucas, Dr. Ayabacho Lucas, is the visionary, the guy who foresaw that the only way you can fight, after studying revolutions, he realized that military might, guerrilla tactics are going to bring La République to the table. And it looks like Ayabacho's strategy is working. People may say he is faking what is happening on the ground. He doesn't really have attacks. He takes attacks done by other people. But the truth about it is, it looks like Ayabacho came up with the military strategy. In fact, his AGOV-C, using ADF as a military wing, developed the strategy of defense, self-defense. In fact, we came across this in November 27, 2017, when Dr. Lucas Ayabacho made a secret visit to daddies in the Akwaya region. You can watch the video of Dr. Lucas Ayabacho in daddies. You can see people following him.
There is nothing more precious in life than freedom.
Your freedom is in your hands.
There is nothing more precious in life than freedom.
Your freedom is in your hands. I have come here as the commander of this revolution to let you know that we will defeat Cameroon. We will not only defeat Cameroon, we will make it impossible for Cameroon again to ever invade our land.
After that, La République military went and attacked daddies and destroyed the whole community. And most of those people escaped to Nigeria up till today. So you can see that the military strategy is what is really working today. And it looks like all the other groups of leaders in Ambazonia, they are following Dr. Ayabacho's strategy. So we still give credit to Dr. Lucas Ayabacho for developing the strategy of self-defense in Ambazonia. And it is really working. And you can see, this week, Jeune Afrique, a popular news organization in Francophone Africa, the guys came from Tunis and they are based in Paris. So they made a major story talking about the achievements of Ayabacho. So I'm not just making up the story. A lot of the people are giving credit to Ayabacho as the architect of the first self-defense strategy in Ambazonia. So he's really done a great job and we salute him. But another picture which also broke my heart is the story of a lady from Bamenda. She escaped with her family, but she was not lucky enough. She was carrying a child on her back. Biya's thugs shot her. She was carrying the baby on her back, and the bullet hit the baby, and the baby died on the spot. Her husband escaped, and she was able to find herself in Douala. Watch the lady tell her story. It's very, very sad. Watch the lady tell her story.
My name is Violet. I come out Bamenda, precisely Bali, Nyonga. So I run war. I come for this side due to the crisis. Which way really make I come out for that side? Now because the gun shooting was too much and I even lost my pikin through the gun shooting. It will be one day. You just say they be the fine man picking them. My husband, you get for run, he leave me and the picking them for us. They don't come one night, they broke house them. We come out, start the run because they be the broke house they move man picking them for us. I come out carry the picking for my back. I lost 3 years old son. His name was Peklin Gabga. I don't come out at Baba the picking for my back. I will be pregnant that time. I Babai would they run. As would they run, they go. They shoot my pikin. They shoot gun. He catch na my pikin for my back. Where? My brother them, my sister them. They want pass me for talking. Because the talker so will pain, much pain. Because it will be like something where whenever a member I'd be off. I she done for 1 year. I not be able for shooting at swallow. I dey take na water, I swallow my chop day. Due to that thing, I have high blood. I have to bury my son alone inside the bush because there was nobody to help me. I took leaves and I buried my son with it without somebody helping me. I run. For year I can born. When I see place where we don't come out, we can be. We'll be there for dry land. We'll be there for place where mosquito no there. But we find difficulties for live, difficulties for chop. My brother and my sister them, I beg, we not do something because it don't pass we. We don't try for beg. That beg say me. Government even see into it whether they fit stop the crisis. We go back for our various home. But we cry, it dey like it no mean nothing for government. It dey like no mean nothing, go over cry. I dey for years so tears don't dry for my eye because I don't too much cry. I be high blood patient for my own young age due to the crisis because I lost my first son, my first blood. Since when my mommy born me, and my first blood that way, I be drop am for that down. Where crisis don't carry am go with them. So I cry and say, I beg, we not have we not have we the suffer, we not have we beg we not plenty.
Thank you for watching the lady tell her story. Next, we'll take you to La République du Cameroon. What is happening in La République du Cameroon? Well, the Biya government for the first time is confessing they are not able to fight Boko Haram. Boko Haram remains a serious menace, especially in the extreme north of La République du Cameroon. You can see what Boko Haram is doing. Boko Haram is not alone. Even the splinter group, the Islamic, they are also creating a lot of havoc in the north, and Biya's forces are helpless. The Biya forces are even asking the Nigerian government to give him a helping hand. But of course, you know that the Nigerian government is weak. Buhari is weak. We're even just happy that Bola Tinubu has come in as president. So how can they help them when you have a weak general? Bye-bye Buhari. I don't even want to talk about Buhari again. Let him be history. So next, we take you from La République du Cameroon to Egypt.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Egypt is a country where we have another dictator. Al-Sisi replaced a democratically elected government with his dictatorship. He's been cracking down on members of the opposition, but he wants to give the semblance of the existence of democracy. He's talking about a national dialogue. At the same time, he's killing and imprisoning members of the opposition. Who is Al-Sisi fooling? Not us, not you. This military guy is a fool. He thinks he's fooling us. He's not fooling us. So what kind of national dialogue are you going to have when you're imprisoning and killing all the members of the opposition? It's a shame what Al-Sisi is doing in Egypt. Next, we take you to Ghana. This week, Vice President Kamala Harris is visiting Ghana. We saw pictures of Kamala Harris with the Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo. And of course, you know why the VP is there. She made sentimental visits to the Emina Castle, visited the slave fort and the place where they used to take the slaves from Ghana to transport them to the Middle Passage, okay, across the Americas. It's a sad moment, but that was not really the purpose of her visit. Sometimes when these people see American presidents or American vice president, or sometimes when they see Americans of African descent, our people may think that they are there to serve the interests of Africa. No. Kamala Harris is there to serve the interests of the United States of America. So you need to understand this. Don't be fooled. She's not there to be nice because she's a black American. She's there to serve the interests of the United States. It's the same thing when Obama was in power. The people thought, oh, Obama is going to come and help Africa. No, it's not the job of Obama to help Africa. It's the job of Africans to help themselves, which is why we continue preaching self-reliance on this show. As Africans, we have to help ourselves. Some of these foreigners may look like us, but they are not there to serve our interests. Kamala Harris is there because China and Russia are encroaching on Africa and they are making inroads. And now America is late to the game. America is waking up and smelling the coffee. So now America wants to stem the tide of the influence of China and Russia in Africa. That's why Kamala Harris is visiting Ghana. And of course, Kamala Harris is going to visit many other places like Tanzania and Zambia. So she's there to fight against the influence of China and Russia in Africa. So don't get things wrong. Next, we're taking you now to Kenya. Kenya is President William Ruto's country, but we're taking you to Kenya because we want to report on an incident of racism. Racism is alive. If you're an African and you've never traveled out of the continent, you may not really be aware of racism. Racism is just a form of discrimination. In South Africa, we knew about racism. The whites were treating us as slaves, less human beings. Now you see what is happening in Kenya. The ambassador from Romania, I think Dracos Gito, insulted Africans as monkeys. So this has led to a very, very serious backlash. In fact, Romania recalled this ambassador for calling African monkeys. So can you believe that in 2023, an ambassador is calling Africans monkeys? Can you believe this? And this is what happened in Kenya. So there's a serious backlash. So you can see that Romania, you ask yourself, Romania, this is an East African country, but they feel they are Europeans. So they still feel they are superior to Africans. So that's a sad thing. As Africans, we have to continue showing that we are better than these white people from Romania, okay? Because we are better educated and we have to prove this. We have to develop our countries. These people should not come to Africa and insult us as monkeys. Monkeys are animals. We are not animals, we are people. And we have to prove to Dracos, diplomats like Dracos, that we are better than him. We can do better. So they should not be sending these people who come and discriminate against our people. So we're really happy with the backlash. We're happy the people of Kenya, the Kenyan government officials took this matter seriously. Racism should be called out. We don't accept racism. Racism is good, not good. So let's not accept it. Next, we're going to take you now from Kenya to Nigeria. On May 29, Nigeria had new leadership. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We think so far, we like the record. After sleeping for 8 years, we have somebody who is making some effort to make some changes. And we're happy with the changes we're seeing in Nigeria. For one, fuel subsidy was eliminated and some people were crying. In fact, the labor unions were threatening to protest, but what happened? Instead of sending soldiers to go and kill them, what did President Bola Tinubu do? He used diplomacy. He used the carrot to talk to the leaders of the labor unions. He did not fire any gun. If it were Buhari, he would have been firing guns to kill people because they are protesting. So this is a welcome change in Nigeria. Okay? Then of course, one of the problems before this election, presidential election in Nigeria, was the introduction of a new currency. We spoke about this on this show, and we told you it was a very bad idea. Economics. It looks like Buhari never read economics. Of course, Buhari is an illiterate. So economics is not a subject he has studied. If you study money in economics, you know that it is not a good idea to introduce a new currency during a very short time. There's bound to be chaos. And that's why the Central Bank of Nigeria had a lot of problems. But of course, Buhari was also trying to weaponize the election. Even though he said he was supporting Bola Tinubu, but the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria was trying to make it impossible for Bola Tinubu to win. So by introducing a new currency, you make Buhari to have an upper hand, then Bola Tinubu will be stuck with all currency in his hands. That was the game. But Bola Tinubu is a master planner. So he was able to play around and still dribble them and win the presidency. Okay? So Bola Tinubu won. But of course, the message we have for Bola Tinubu is to continue those reforms. It is a good thing he's fired the president of the central bank, the governor of the central bank. It's good for the guy to go. Is it Emile Fele? Let him go. Then we want Mr. Bola Tinubu to focus on youth unemployment. Young people want to work. The Nigerian youth is very, very smart. In fact, today we're going to highlight the story of a young Nigerian who has invented a bus, a solar panel bus. Instead of using gasoline, this bus is using solar energy. And it was introduced by a young architect, a university dropout. His name is Mustafa Abubakar Gajibo. So you're going to see pictures of this young guy, inventor. He has formed his own company. And we encourage Bola Tinubu to help young people like Mustafa Abubakar Gajibo, because that's the future of Nigeria. These young people have talent. Help them to take advantage of their talent. Make it possible for them to start businesses. Help them fund their businesses so that they can have unemployment eradicated in most parts of the world. When you reduce unemployment, then Boko Haram will not be able to have fertile ground, because a lot of the youth will have something important to do. Idleness is a devil's workshop. So give these young people something to do. Give them better paying jobs so that they will run away from crime. So we're going to use Mustafa Abubakar Gajibo as an example, a model young person who is struggling to make ends meet. He is fighting environmental pollution, which is already a serious problem in Nigeria. In fact, this week, Nigeria was ranked as the 8th most polluted nation in the world. The pollution is just right everywhere in Nigeria. Pollution, pollution, pollution. So by introducing solar-powered cars, you see that you will have better energy, okay? The environment will be cleaner. So we support the work of Mustafa Abubakar Gajibo. And we encourage the president of Nigeria to target young people like Mustafa Abubakar Gajibo. If he does this, we'll be happy. There's fire, fire, and fire in Senegal. The people do not want Macky Sall to run for a third term. The message is simple. President Macky Sall, when you came to power, the plan was new changes, change. We want a democratic culture to prevail. Now you are trying to roll back the democratic gains of Senegal. The people are saying no, do not run for a third term. Come in public and say no. Do not weaponize the justice system by telling the courts to imprison Ousmane Sonko. You are weaponizing the courts. So we want the rule of law, but don't manipulate the rule of law against your opponents. The people already know the game you're trying to play. You want to sideline Ousmane Sonko because you think he's your biggest rival, so he should not run. Look at the havoc you've created in your country. Look at the university. All the artifacts have been destroyed. This is Senegalese culture and civilization. You've destroyed it. So it is a shame to you, Macky Sall. Look at what you've done to your country. But you can turn around and do something better. So please, go back. Announce that you're not going to run for a third term. The problems will subside. Please do that, Macky Sall. Announce that you're not going to run for a third term. That's the solution to the problem in Senegal, okay? From Senegal now, we'll move to South Africa.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
In South Africa, the main thing is Cyril Ramaphosa. He's saying he wants to play the role of peacemaker between Vladimir Putin of Russia and Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine. How can this guy be a peacemaker? All of you guys know that Cyril Ramaphosa is part of the BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That's part of the BRICS, the bloc. He's part of this group and he supports Vladimir Putin blindly. So how can he be a peacemaker? And of course, the peace plan that Cyril Ramaphosa is presenting is a plan written by China. So China now has to run the world through Cyril Ramaphosa. The West sees through all these games and they're not buying it. So we think the peace plan that he's offering is dead on arrival. It's not going to go anywhere. We think Cyril Ramaphosa should be spending time working on the problems of South Africa instead of worrying about the international politics. It's not really helping his country. What will help his country is the building of the South African economy. South Africa has so many problems, economic problems, social problems, political problems. Cyril Ramaphosa needs to start working on these problems. The people need employment. There's energy shortage. There's crime. So why is Cyril Ramaphosa not focusing on these problems? Why is he abandoning these problems and focusing attention on the world powers? What is Putin giving to this guy? Well, what have you done for me lately? If Putin helped you guys when you were trying to be free as South Africa, you were trying to get rid of apartheid, today you don't have to keep thinking about apartheid. Think about the future. You are stuck in the past. So we want you to move to the future. As a leader, you always have to face the future. The past is gone and is gone forever. So don't be sentimental about the past. Vladimir Putin and the Soviet Union must have helped you in the past, but now you have more problems to deal with yourself. Focus on your problems yourself, okay? Then from South Africa, we'll take you to Sudan. Sudan. In Sudan, a few days ago, they said there was a truce. This truce is not holding. Fighting resumes in Sudan. Dagalo and El Berham are two generals who are fighting for power. We've told you the story of Sudan. After the overthrow of al-Bashir by these two generals, okay, they connived to overthrow al-Bashir, then now they are fighting for power. Of course, al-Berham comes from the area around Khartoum, so he looks like the civilized guy. Then Dagalo comes from the Darfur area. He was really the architect of the Janjaweed, those guys who really killed a lot of black people during the Darfur massacre. But today, he's presenting himself as a guy who wants to bring democracy to Sudan. Is this not a mockery? This is a mockery. The guy is very rich. Dagalo has a lot of weapons and he has a lot of money that he made from gold mines. Then, of course, he's leaning towards Vladimir Putin and the Soviet and the Russia. So what do you expect? The two generals are not good guys. So even al-Berham is also a dictator. So they are just fighting for power. They used to be cronies, but because of the reintegration of the forces of the paramilitary run by Dagalo, he wants to control the paramilitary, but al-Berham wanted to control that paramilitary to integrate them into the national army. And that's where their split started, okay? So it's like they are not there to help the people, they are there to help themselves. They are there to enrich themselves, not to help the common man in Sudan. And that's the fate of Sudan. The country is tearing apart at the seams because of two selfish guys. None of them is a good guy. Finally, we take you to Uganda. We're going to end our show in Uganda. We're going to talk to you now about Yoweri Museveni. This guy came in as a guerrilla fighter. People were expecting that he will introduce new change. It's not going to be another Idi Amin, but he has turned out to be worse than Idi Amin. Dictator number one, okay? A few weeks ago, we understood that he legalized a law. Now he's anti-gay people. If you are gay, it's not just a social offense, it's a crime in the country. Can you hear that? So the gay activists are really up in arms against him. So even the money he was expecting to get from the United States, because of the gay lobby in the US, Biden is not going to give him that money. So that's what is happening. Of course. Then of course, there are protests. The protests happen and Yoweri Museveni soldiers killed a lot of civilians. Over 22 civilians were killed. So Ugandans who are in London are protesting and they are telling the British government to stop supporting the government of Uganda. And that's the sad state of Africa this week. We've come to the end of our show, but we're telling you to support our businesses. We are business people. We continue bringing you this show. If you love the show, please subscribe. Bye-bye.
Medical practice software is too old. Indeed, all the programs are built on MUMPS, technology of the 1950s, and the programs cost too much money. Epic and Cerner cost billions of dollars. Meditech costs thousands of dollars too. In fact, that's why we created AlexiaHTC.com, a new and free EMR/EHR for doctors. AlexiaHTC.com is built for HIPAA. Yes, magical one-screen technology, ease of use, quick charting, amazing e-prescribing, tight labs integration, multi-office difference, because we believe doctors and patients need a break today. Be the first to test drive AlexiaHTC.com. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Act now. Call 240-350-1131. Alexia Care Corporation at AlexiaHTC.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.